Amin was a boy who had grown up knowing only hardship. His family had very little, and most days they worried about whether there would be enough food to eat. Hunger was something Amin understood well, and every evening he would see his mother sitting with worry etched across her face, tired and anxious about how to keep the family going. Then one day, things became even harder. Amin's father fell seriously ill, and they didn't have the money to take him to a doctor. Fear settled over the house like a heavy blanket. The rooms grew quieter, and Amin felt powerless as he watched his father grow weaker. At night, he often cried silently, afraid that his father might not live to see another day. As if their pain wasn't enough, the crops failed that season. With no harvest, the family sank deeper into hunger. Amin saw his younger brothers going to bed with empty stomachs, and each time his heart ached. His worries stretched beyond the present. He wondered if he had any future at all. Then tragedy struck again. His mother passed away while his father was still ill, leaving the family devastated and broken. Amin was heartbroken. Grief weighed on him heavily, but in the middle of his sorrow, he realized that he had no choice but to be strong for his siblings. His father's health was worsening, and now the responsibility of caring for the family fell on his small shoulders. He taught himself to cook whatever simple meals he could, clean the house, and manage chores while also comforting his brothers. Life was cruel, but he refused to let his family collapse under the weight of their suffering. Despite their struggles, Amin tried to hold on to hope. His friends, who each had troubles of their own, became a source of strength. Omar, who loved to draw, never had money for pencils or paper. Still, he sketched pictures in the dirt, dreaming of one day becoming a great artist. He often spent time with Amin, and the two studied together. Rami, another friend, had a deep love for reading, though his family disapproved of it. He would sneak away to be with Amin and Omar, saying, "Books help us see new worlds and learn new things." Then there was Hassan, whose father was a blacksmith. Hassan was skilled with his hands and could fix or build almost anything. His humor and optimism lifted Amin's spirits when times were unbearable. One day, Hassan would laugh, "We'll make our dreams real." But even with their laughter and company, Amin often carried a heavy sadness. One evening, while sitting under a tree, he felt as though he heard his grandmother's voice whispering to him, "Don't give up on your dreams." The words touched him deeply. Though fear of failure lingered in his heart, a small spark of hope ignited again. The following day, Amin spoke to his teachers about his struggles. To his surprise, they offered to help. Together, they planned a fundraiser for his family. But Amin's heart was filled with worry. What if no one came? What if no one cared? On the day of the event, the villagers showed kindness. People arrived, bringing food, money, and support. Even so, Amin was anxious. Would it be enough to keep his family afloat? Rami asked him if this was truly a good idea. Amin, though uncertain, replied that he had no choice but to try. At the same time, Amin faced another test, his school exams. He was torn between studying and taking care of his family. To make matters worse, some students mocked him, calling him names and spreading unkind words. As though fate was testing him further, a violent storm struck the village, damaging his family's fragile home. Instead of sitting with his books, Amin found himself patching walls and trying to protect his siblings from the rain. He was exhausted, burdened, and often close to breaking. Yet through the hunger, the grief, and the endless setbacks, Amin kept moving forward. He clung to the belief that if he didn't give up, if he fought through the darkness, one day he and his family would see better days. Amin grew up in hardship, in a small village where his family struggled to make ends meet. Hunger was a constant companion, and the weight of poverty pressed heavily on his parents. His father's illness deepened the burden, leaving Amin scared and helpless. He often cried quietly under the old tree near his home, wishing he could do something to ease their suffering. One day, Amin decided to leave for the town in search of opportunities. Along the way, he encountered both kindness and cruelty. Some people tried to take advantage of him, but there were also those who extended a helping hand. Among the good souls he met were Omar, who expressed himself through painting, and Rami, who loved telling stories. Together, they became his friends and his strength. They studied side by side, shared their worries, and encouraged each other in their struggles. Although his family was constantly worried about money, Amin found comfort in writing. He poured his fears, frustrations, and dreams onto paper, discovering that stories could heal his heart. His friends admired his writing, and soon, his words became a bridge that brought them all closer. They shared their problems openly, reminding one another that they were not alone. But Amin also faced conflict. Another student became his rival, testing his patience and resilience. When a fundraiser was organized to support the village, Amin saw how much his neighbors cared for one another. For the first time, he realized that the bonds within his community were as important as his own struggles. Still, before his exams, doubt crept in. He often wondered if he was good enough, worrying about failure and about disappointing his family. Despite his fears, Amin graduated at the very top of his class. The moment he spotted his family in the audience, his eyes filled with tears. Pride and relief washed over him. He was happy, but he also knew this was only the beginning. His heart swelled with gratitude, not just for his success, but for the chance to make a difference. Driven by a dream bigger than himself, Amin returned to his village and opened a school for children who once had no hope. He invited Omar, Rami, and their friend Hassan to join him in teaching. Together, they built a safe and welcoming place where learning flourished. Their efforts transformed the lives of countless children, offering them a future that Amin himself had once feared he would never have. Years later, Amin sat under the same tree where he used to cry as a boy. Looking out over the village, now thriving and full of opportunity, he felt an overwhelming sense of peace. He understood that his hardships had shaped him into who he was. Success, he realized, was not just about reaching goals but about the strength gained along the journey. Amin's story became more than his own. It was a light for others. His perseverance and humility inspired people to face their own challenges with courage. He taught his village, and all who heard of him, that faith, determination, and hard work could overcome even the deepest struggles. As the years passed, Amin lived a life filled with gratitude. He never forgot the kindness of his friends, his teachers, and the villagers who supported him when he had nothing. From a hungry boy to a respected teacher and leader, he became a symbol of hope. His life stood as proof that even in the harshest circumstances, a person can rise, inspire others, and leave behind a legacy of strength and love.